So then, with Chinatsu now living with Taiki, our main protagonist is feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Never in his wildest dreams would he ever imagine a situation in where she was actually living with him. Everything she does makes her more and more adorable, and I guess you could say dreams really can come true. And speaking of dreams, we learn Taiki's on-court dream, and honestly, after reading this chapter, my respect for this character has greatly increased. I love the fact that Taiki portrays himself in this chapter as a very respectable guy, understanding the amount of determination and the kind of big risk Chinatsu would have taken in order to stay and pursue her dreams of going to nationals. So his choice is to ultimately wait until Chinatsu has achieved her dreams, as he believes it would be selfish of himself to ask her out before then. That reasoning, of course, stems from his understanding of Chinatsu's bravery, determination, and desires. That line that he mentioned to his friend ultimately earned a lot of respect from myself when reading, and just increased his character to an even greater sort of perspective than what I already had from the first chapter. So I love the fact that we're building upon this character and making him seem pretty immature, despite some of the immature acts he does when he gets a bit too flustered and overexcited when his crush is around. Also, I don't know if this was intentional, but Taiki, translated from Japanese into English, means wait. I thought that was kind of funny, so I thought I'd leave that in, just in case you didn't know that as well. However, Taiki takes things one step further, deciding to improve himself and push towards his own spot in nationals, as he wants to become a person who is worthy of Chinatsu's attention/love. Now, I like this turn of events as it not only highlights Taiki's goals on court, but it also shows a hint of vulnerability from his character. The fact that he believes he's not good enough for her yet tells us, as the reader, that he has a lot of development to go throughout the course of this series, which is something I'm looking forward to see, as overcoming your own self-doubt and self-worth, which is something that him not viewing himself good enough for her at the moment obviously hints him having, is not really an easy thing to overcome. So I'd like to see how the mangaka portrays his character in doing so. Now, although the chapter mainly focuses on Taiki, we do get a bit more information about Chinatsu. Firstly, she's a fan of Shonen Jump, just like Taiki is, which creates a small connection of interests between both our male and female lead. Secondly, we learn that she's a type of person to believe in good luck charms and other superstitions, along those sort of lines, as the scene with the dream bands was incredibly wholesome and sweet, but shows a small childish side to her character, while again giving off that slight feeling of romance within this romance sport comedy manga. We can also add in the fact that she watches Taiki while he practices, just like Taiki also watches her, creating some similarities between the way both characters interact with each other, thus building upon the connection they both share. Although, if I had to have a guess, I would imagine Chinatsu just glancing over and being slightly admired by some of his practicing, while Taiki is kind of infatuated and staring. So, it might not be the same sort of watching, but there's still a slight level of interest going both ways between the two. Plus, we can reinforce the idea of both characters supporting each other with that ending of this chapter. Like previously mentioned, Chinatsu staying behind and moving in with Taiki's family was a big, scary decision, especially for someone at her own age. But thanks to Taiki being there, and being him specifically, that helped Chinatsu feel more at ease, because she knew who he was, and he's always been there whenever she's gone in for morning practice. The art style looked amazing, whether that was Chinatsu's beautiful smile, or the fast-paced action of Badminton. With those rough edges and effects that were added in, that scene that you see on the screen here was absolutely amazing to behold and to see on screen. Plus, it gives us a bit of a tease as to what we could expect from the art style when looking at the matches that are going to happen soon. Of course, we are going to see some basketball matches and badminton matches to boot. So this just gives us a little bit of a sneak peek, and I'm excited to see what's to come, if the art is going to be this gorgeous moving forward. But I think another element that the art style adds in, at least in this chapter, was the lengths Taiki's willing to push himself. Again, whether that's mentally in not exploding whenever his crush is around, or whether that's physically in his training and his determination to improve himself in his own skill and go towards his dream. Of course, we talked last week in my chapter 1 review about how the art style complements the emotion and how it's able to convey that emotion perfectly. Well, it does exactly the same thing this time, but for Taiki's character, and for the connection and kind of bond of slight romance that's starting to form between our two protagonists. Now I think the next step for this manga is to bring in a couple of rivals for Chainatsu and Taiki. Of course, I'm talking about a badminton rival and I'm talking about a basketball rival. I don't suppose it's going to be a team, I think it's going to be more of a character. As well as the fact is, I would love it if they kind of expand on the side characters we've been introduced to so far. They had a small cameo within this chapter, so I'd love to see what their history is and what their story is all about and what their goals and desires are moving forward. However, with that being said, I really do want to know your thoughts on this chapter in the comment section down below, as I overall enjoyed this chapter a lot, as it greatly built up the characters and the connection that they shared, while showcasing some beautiful art style and uniting them within a common goal. So, as second chapters go, this was a wonderful read, nevertheless, and I'm excited to talk more about this series with you as the viewer, and of course, I want to know what you think. So let's have a conversation down in the comment section below. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, hit that like button, like it's a shuttlecock, and of course, subscribe if you're new for more videos from me in the future. But more importantly, I do hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Alligator, matane, goodbye!